Hi guys, my name's Robin. I'm an artist who works with code and computers to make playful, interactive work, a bit like this, inspired by my love of bright colours, dancing, cats, synthesizers. Golden Thread asked me to make two videos you could follow at home to make something fun. We're going to use open processing to teach our computer how to draw rainbows a bit like this. Open processing is a kind of computer language created by Ben Fry and Casey Rees to help artists easily play with code. Let's get started. The first thing we need to do is make an account at www.openprocessing.org. So let's go there. There we go, openprocessing.org. If you click on join, and then type in your name and maybe your parents' email address or your own email address if you've got one, and then you can get started and get your parents to help with this bit if you get a bit stuck making an account, but you'll probably be okay. And we're in. You can set a profile photo here if you like. I've got one of me pulling a confused face because that's how computers make me feel. Now click on create sketch. Now we're in the code editor, and Open Processing has given us some sample code to get us started. All the programs we write in Open Processing are called sketches. If we click the play icon here, at the top we can run the code in our web browser and see what happens. Circles. If we click the / between the pointy brackets, we can go back to the code and start telling our computer what to do. And the first thing we want to do is make our lives a bit easier and use the Simple.js library. So in computer programming, a library is like a toolbox of ready-made code someone else has already made that we can use in our own programs to save us lots of typing. Computer programmers are very, very lazy. So click on Show All by Libraries, and then go down to where it says Simple.js, and you see a black cross. Click on it so it turns into a tick. Now let's wipe the slate clean and start a fresh program by deleting the code on lines 2 and 3 and line 7 like so. So I'm just selecting it and then deleting it. Now when we click play, we truly have a blank canvas to play with. So click on the code editor icon again to get to work on these rainbows. Now every processing sketch has to have at least 2 functions. Functions are the bits of code that are executed by the computer when we run the sketch by hitting the play button. We can add our own functions if we want to, but we always have to have a setup and a draw function. Everything between line 1 and 3 is our setup function, and right now it doesn't do anything. There's no code there. And everything between lines 5 and 7 is our draw function, and right now that doesn't do anything either, and that's why we've got a blank canvas. But the code that says function setup and then the brackets and function draw and then the brackets defines the function. We can also call functions that have already been defined by libraries. So think about it like you're calling someone up on the telephone, or you're calling up your computer and you're saying, hey computer, do this. And let's call our first function that's defined by the Simple.js library that we just enabled. And I'm going to type in simple to our setup function, and then open and close brackets, and then a semicolon. And the brackets, these ones, are where we might give the computer some extra info about what we want it to do. Even if we don't give any extra instructions, we still have to have those brackets there. And the semicolon after is telling the computer, do it, I mean business, do what I've written, do it now. So if we click play, we can see now we've got this like dull grey square instead of the white canvas. And we've got sort of like a wee square in the middle. So if you've got this far, give yourself a pat on the back. Now we can start drawing stuff by writing commands that call functions inside our draw function. So our draw function is between lines 5 and 7. Let's start with a circle. So, This guy, Giotto, was a Florentine painter in the 14th century. He got famous for drawing perfect circles because of his years of craft and effort, but we're lazy and using computers, so we're just going to type circle, open brackets, and then 3 numbers. And I'm going to pick 200, then another 200, and then a 100, and those numbers are all separated by commas. So circle, open brackets, 3 numbers, close brackets, and then apostrophe, because we're telling the computer we mean business, we want to do it. Now when we press play, we get a perfect yellow circle. And flipping back into the code editor lets us mess with these numbers. So the numbers are the arguments for the function circle. So the arguments go inside the brackets. Circle takes 3 arguments. The first 2 are the X and Y location on the screen. So computers start counting from the top left pixel over here. So X is going this way, and they count Y from the top of the screen down like this. So if we make this number bigger, like 500, then our yellow circle moves to the right. And if we make this number bigger, like 600, then it moves down the screen. In fact, it nearly falls off it because our screen is 800 pixels this way by 600 pixels this way. And finally, the third number decides the diameter of the circle. So I'm going to make it a bit bigger just to demonstrate that. Boom, big circle. Now, if I want a different colored circle, I can change the color of it with the fill command. So I'm just going to press return on line 5 to get a new line, and then type fill, open brackets, and then the name of the color that I want between apostrophes. So let's try a red circle, because that's the beginning of a rainbow. And close brackets, and then execute, and we got a red circle. Now to make a rainbow, I want to make my first circle right in the middle of the screen at the bottom. So if it's 800 pixels wide, then the center of my circle needs to be 400 pixels along. And if our screen is 600 pixels high, it needs to be 600 pixels down, so that bit's right. And then I want the diameter to be 800. So, yep, that looks about right. Now, if I want a rainbow, I just need to draw more circles on top of the first circle. So I'm going to change the pen color by typing in fill orange, then the apostrophes, close brackets, execute. And then because I'm so lazy, I'm just going to cut and paste this circle command from line 7, press return on the end of line 8 and paste it in, and just reduce the size of the circle by changing the third argument. How's that look? Yeah. Looks kind of like a atomic bomb, but kind of rainbowy as well. Now we're cooking with gas, so pause the video here and see if you can work out how to do the rest of it. Did you get it? Here's the code. Bonus points if you worked out how to make the last circle look like a donut by drawing an extra circle the same color as the background. And talking of our background, this sky is a bit too Northern Ireland, so let's imagine we're somewhere with great weather for a moment and make the background color sky blue by typing in background, open brackets, sky blue, close brackets, and notice that sky blue is between apostrophes. And then we can change the color of our last circle to our new background color, like so. Ah yeah, total rainbow vibes. So hit save and then tune back in a fortnight where we're going to start throwing down squares, lines and triangles to build a house.